Modern neuroscience has confirmed what ancient wisdom knew. Trauma isn't just in your head, it gets physically frozen in your fascia and your nervous system. Until you speak the language of the body, which is sensation, not words, that trauma isn't going anywhere. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 essential somatic exercises that actually communicate safety to your nervous system. We're going to move from grounding your back all the way to releasing the deepest muscle of fear in your body. But here's the catch. Most people do these poses wrong because they treat them like regular yoga stretches. I'm going to show you the specific combination of dynamic motion and static holds that is required to actually thaw the freeze response. If you don't include the dynamic component, you're just stretching tension. Let's begin with the foundation. We cannot release anything until the body stops feeling like it needs to defend itself. When you carry trauma, lying flat on your back can actually feel incredibly vulnerable, like you're being exposed. Your back muscles remain tense, hovering just above the floor, guarding your kidneys. We need to convince your nervous system that the ground is actually there to hold you. So start gently by cradling your knees. Don't pull hard. Now begin a slow, rhythmic rocking from side to side. Why are we moving instead of just holding still? Because this specific rocking motion mimics being cradled as an infant. It immediately soothes your vestibular nervous system and sends a primal signal of safety to the brain that mere stillness can't achieve. Now change the dynamic movement and gently rock front to back, tailbone to mid-back. This gently massages the parasympathetic nerve endings along your lower spine. Now find the center and stop completely. Hold the stillness. We use this movement to map the territory. Now we use the static hold to integrate. Feel your lower back melt into the floor. Your back feels safer, but that safety hasn't reached your spine yet, which is likely still rigid from years of holding it together. We need to break that rigidity next. Trauma creates a freeze response along the spine. You might feel it as a stiff neck or mid-back that just won't move. Standard cat-cow is okay, but it only moves in 2 directions, forward and back. Trauma is 3-dimensional, so we need 3-dimensional movements to release it. Start with your regular cat-cow, rounding and arching. But now add the missing piece, lateral movement. As you move through neutral, squeeze your shoulder toward your hip, looking side to side like a snake. By moving the spine in multiple planes simultaneously, we are gently flossing the nerves that run between the vertebrae, breaking up adhesion in the fascia that lock you into that rigid posture. Find the spot that feels the most stuck, maybe looking over your left shoulder, and pause there. Breathe into that resistance. You're bringing fluidity back to the spine, but it won't last if your body still thinks it needs to run away. We need to target the muscles responsible for the flight response next, and they are hidden deep in your hips. If you want a protocol that really focuses on spinal health, check out my free longevity blueprint in the description below. Next up, look at the cobbler's pose. When you feel threatened, your body instinctively prepares to protect your vital organs. It does this by clenching the inner thighs in the pelvic floor. If you've been stressed for years, these muscles are chronically shortened, constantly signaling to your brain that danger is present. So, bring the soles of your feet together. Do not push your knees down. Instead, begin to rapidly and lightly flutter your knees up and down, like a butterfly flapping its wings. This weird bouncy movement is crucial. We are essentially shaking the residual adrenaline out of the adductor muscles. You cannot static stretch a muscle that thinks it needs to run. You have to shake it loose first. Now, stop the fluttering completely. Let gravity take over. Now that we've shaken out the energy, the static hold allows the pelvic floor to yield. This fosters a deep sense of vulnerability that is safe, and you can feel it now. So we've opened the hips, but we haven't addressed the deepest core muscle in the human body, the one that stores the most emotional trauma. That's what we target next. The rolling somatic bridge. Deep inside your abdomen connects your torso to your legs, and that's the psoas muscle. It is the primary muscle of fight or flight. When you experience trauma, the psoas contracts violently to curl you into a fetal position. For many of us, it never fully unclinched. We start very subtly. Lie on your back and just tilt your pelvis to flatten your lower spine against the floor, then tilt it back to create a small arch. Roll back and forth. This tiny dynamic rocking is hydrating the tissues around the psoas, coaxing it out of its protective grip. On your next exhale, press into your feet and peel your spine off the floor into a gentle bridge. Hold there. Place a block under your sacrum if you need to, and take a few deep breaths. By statically engaging the back of your body, the glutes and hamstrings, your brain automatically sends a signal to the front of your body, the psoas, to lengthen and relax. This is reciprocal inhibition at work. Slowly come down out of bridge. Now, we've addressed the major muscle groups, but for total nervous system reset, we need one final paradoxical technique. We need to create immense tension to find immense relaxation. We are finishing in Shavasana or corpse pose. But if you just lie down now while your mind is racing, you won't relax. You'll just be worrying while lying down. So to get the brain to actually let go, we need to show it the extreme contrast of what tension feels like. So take a massive inhale and squeeze every muscle in your body. Make fists, scrunch your face, point your toes, hold it. Build that tension until you're vibrating. And then exhale completely through your mouth and drop everything. That dynamic spike in tension, followed by sudden release, tricks your nervous system into a deeper state of total body relaxation. Now, just breathe into your belly. Feel your feet get heavy. Feel your jaw unhinge. This stillness is where the integration happens. You just move through 5 layers of stored tension. You likely feel lighter, maybe a little emotional, and that's real progress. But trauma doesn't release in a single or weekly 10-minute session. The hardest part is showing up to do this tomorrow when your brain tries to convince you it doesn't have time. You can also check out my free longevity blueprint in the description below. Peace and namaste.